Have you ever found yourself relentlessly pursuing a goal, only to discover that the more furiously you chased it, the further it seemed to recede? Picture it: professional breakthroughs, personal fulfillment, that elusive mental clarity, they often appear just beyond your grasp, like a mirage that disappears the closer you get. But what if the genuine path to achieving these aspirations isn't about accelerating your pace, but rather about pausing, settling, and embracing a profound sense of tranquility? Take a moment right now. Inhale deeply. Feel the air expand your lungs and let your body gradually release tension. That serene sensation of inner peace is your crucial starting point. In a world relentlessly barraging us with demands for urgency, instant gratification, and rapid results, the notion that stillness could be the pathway to success might sound counterintuitive, perhaps even like an excuse for inaction. From an early age, we are conditioned to equate accomplishment with speed, with an unrelenting intensity of action, with sheer unyielding force, and with the capacity to respond to every stimulus with near frantic haste. The prevailing narratives in our society champion those who rise before dawn, work ceaselessly, respond to emails and messages within moments, and appear to never take a break. Yet, there exists an ancient wisdom, deeply rooted in a nuanced understanding of the human psyche, that boldly challenges this dominant perspective. This wisdom offers a fundamentally different outlook, the profound insight that life's most meaningful and lasting achievements do not spring from external clamor and commotion, but rather from a deep, restorative inner silence. Dale Carnegie, a preeminent explorer of the human spirit, dedicated a significant portion of his life and his monumental body of work to the meticulous study of the unconscious mind, that vast, mysterious, and often hidden dimension of our psyche. And among the rich tapestry of his teachings and discoveries, one resonates with poignant simplicity, yet possesses transformative depth. The realization that calmness is not merely a state of inactivity or rest, but a rich and fertile ground, where genuine personal transformation, authentic self-discovery, and as an undeniable consequence, success that is both enduring and deeply meaningful, can truly flourish. We are not advocating for a naive calm or a passive surrender to inertia. Here, on the contrary, Carnegie referred to a conscious and deliberate stance toward life, an active choice in how we position ourselves in the face of circumstances. For Carnegie, the pervasive external chaos that we often experience is, in reality, a direct and palpable reflection of an internal disarray or imbalance residing within us. From this profound intuition emerges a foundational truth: the initial, most critical, and profoundly transformative step in reshaping the world around us is none other than to begin by reorganizing what transpires within our own being. It is on this introspective journey toward inner tranquility that the true alchemy of life genuinely begins to unfold. When we successfully immerse ourselves in a state of inner peace, our perception undergoes a remarkable sharpening. It's as if a thick fog dissipates, allowing us to perceive reality with a clarity that previously eluded us. This newfound lucidity doesn't just alter how we view the world, it directly and profoundly impacts our capacity for decision-making. The choices we make become inherently more sound and deliberate, rather than impulsive reactions. We cease to respond automatically to external stimuli, and instead react with conscious reflection, which enables us to bypass impulsive responses that, all too frequently, drastically divert us from our deepest, most cherished objectives. In this context, calmness is far more than a mere absence of noise. It functions as a powerful form of emotional alchemy. Imagine the transformative power to convert paralyzing fear into an unyielding source of courage. Consider how persistent, gnawing doubt can be transmuted into a clear, well-defined sense of purpose. And visualize how consuming anxiety can be, rechanneled into a firm and resolute direction, guiding us precisely toward where we aspire to go. It is precisely within this state of profound serenity that we discover the vital emotional space, the inner sanctuary, to engage in deep and honest introspection about who we truly are, what our deepest longings in life genuinely entail, and the authentic path that will undeniably lead us to complete and lasting fulfillment. Carnegie, with his profound wisdom, was deeply convinced that an individual can only attain their true fullness and completeness when they cultivate the ability to listen intently to their own soul. And this profound listening, which transcends mere words, demands something fundamental: silence, a deliberate pause, and a deep state of calm. It's not a superficial listening or an intellectual comprehension of external logic, but a profound, resonant connection with the inner voice that is often tragically drowned out by the incessant clamor of the external world. Contrary to what many might instinctively believe, success is not simply the straightforward, linear outcome of a series of diligently executed external actions. It is, to a significant degree, the precious fruit of a deep and transformative internal journey. Calmness offers us the invaluable opportunity to delve into our own essence, to explore the hidden depths of our psyche, and to comprehend the unconscious patterns that, without our awareness, repeatedly undermine our efforts. It empowers us to identify and bravely confront unresolved traumas that restrict us, and it helps us unearth those forgotten dreams and aspirations that, in the relentless rush of life, we have left buried in some forgotten corner of our minds. It is through this serene immersion that, instead of merely pursuing goals imposed by societal expectations or external pressures, we begin to construct a form of success that possesses genuine meaning, a success that is intrinsically aligned with our most authentic essence. It is a success that truly resonates with who we are at our core, and not merely with what the world expects us to be. We undoubtedly find ourselves living under a metaphorical dictatorship of time. Every single minute of our day appears to be precisely clocked, meticulously measured, and constantly evaluated. We are perpetually subjected to demands, pressures, and comparisons against external standards that are, more often than not, unrealistic and detrimental to our well-being. We rush frantically from one commitment to another, from one task to the next, as if life itself were a relentless marathon that can only culminate in utter exhaustion. In this frenetic and unbalanced pace, success transforms into a goal we pursue with consuming anxiety, almost with desperation. It ceases to be a pathway for personal growth and instead becomes a frantic race against the clock, an incessant quest that leaves us feeling profoundly depleted and, all too often, deeply unfulfilled. However, Dale Carnegie extends a profound invitation to us for reflection, one that directly challenges this pervasive perception. He compels us to recognize that this compulsive movement and perpetual haste are not in fact indicators of strength, as we might erroneously believe. Rather, they are often symptoms of a deep-seated disconnection, a disconnection from our authentic selves, from our most genuine needs, and from the natural inherent rhythm of life itself. Haste, in numerous instances, is nothing more than a cunning disguise, an elaborate facade for the gnawing anxiety that consumes us from within. It morphs into a defense mechanism, a way to avoid confronting the emotional and spiritual voids we carry. It serves as a means to keep ourselves so relentlessly occupied and distracted that we simply have no remaining time to look inward. When we steadfastly refuse to pause, to genuinely listen to what our body and soul are communicating, to fully experience our emotions, we inadvertently cut ourselves off from the deepest and most essential truths about who we are. Consequently, we lose the thread of our own narrative, disconnecting from our internal story and from our highest, most meaningful purpose. Calmness, in stark contrast, restores to us a priceless commodity that we believed was irretrievably lost. Time. Not chronological time, but psychological time, that precious internal space that allows us to breathe and simply be. It grants us the essential room to perceive what truly holds importance in our lives, what is genuinely essential, and what is merely superfluous noise, distractions that pull us away from our true center. By consciously choosing to decelerate, we open a receptive space for a type of listening that extends far beyond rational logic, an intuitive and profound listening. Carnegie referred to this as the process of individuation, a journey of progressive integration between the conscious and unconscious dimensions of our being. It is a profound voyage in which the human individual begins to transform into the person they are genuinely destined to be, into their most authentic and complete version. Yet this profound process, far from being instantaneous or superficial, demands time, requires a total presence in the moment, and above all necessitates calm. When we allow ourselves to quiet down, when we permit the internal agitation to subside, we begin to perceive life's subtle signals, intuitions that seemingly arise from nowhere, messages encoded within our dreams, those silent discomforts that were previously drowned out by the incessant clamor of haste. And it is precisely in these moments of profound pause, in this consciously chosen stillness, that we begin to grasp that success, much like true happiness, is not a final destination found at the end of an exhausting race, but rather resides in the very manner in which we navigate our journey, in the intrinsic quality of our presence, with each and every step of the way. The mental clarity we so deeply yearn for is born from this profound silence, from this capacity for deep listening, and from this willingness to be whole and completely present in the current moment. Calmness, then, is not merely an emotional state. It is a powerful conduit, a tool to access the truest and most authentic aspects residing within us. It is an undeniable truth that the world will continue to demand swift responses and unceasing productivity, for such is the inherent nature of our current era. However, the true revolution and the pivotal turning point occur when we are capable of existing within the world without becoming utterly lost within its demands, when we learn to courageously say no to the frantic external pace in order to genuinely listen to our own internal rhythm, that unique cadence that guides us toward our own intrinsic truth. Carnegie held the firm belief that this profound reconnection with our deepest self is what imbues us with enduring strength, unwavering courage, and a clear, unwavering direction in life. And this profound state is not achieved through blind, relentless effort or a futile struggle, but rather through a tranquil and serene consciousness. Success that emerges from a foundation of calmness is, by its very nature, more profound, more resilient, and infinitely more enduring, because it is firmly anchored in who we genuinely are, and not merely in what the external world expects us to be or the restrictive masks it imposes upon us. From this secure anchoring point in calmness, every action we undertake ceases to be an impulsive reaction to circumstances and transforms into a deliberate, creative act, perfectly aligned with a clear and serene intention. And this, perhaps, is the fundamental distinction between merely winning in the race of life and truly realizing our highest potential and most profound purpose. It is the crucial difference between an empty victory and an achievement imbued with deep meaning. At the very core of Dale Carnegie's vast and profound philosophy lies an incredibly powerful and, at the same time, profoundly liberating insight. True transformation is not a process imposed from the outside inward. Rather, it emerges organically from within, radiating outward. This profound metamorphosis, however, does not manifest in an explosive or dramatic fashion as a sudden event visible to all. In most cases, it is a silent, gradual process, almost imperceptible in its nascent stages. It is akin to the patient germination of a seed that, concealed within the fertile darkness of the earth, begins to extend its roots and accumulate strength, before eventually breaking through the surface and revealing its existence. Calmness, then, is precisely that dark, fertile soil, that conducive environment where genuine and profound transformation can occur unhurriedly, with a solidity that endures through time. While the external world, with its frantic rhythm, constantly demands immediate results and relentless productivity, Carnegie's deep psychological understanding invites us to a far more significant and transcendent undertaking, to cultivate our inner roots. And cultivating roots, as we well know, demands time, a patient and sustained dedication. It requires a deep, introspective listening to what truly resides within us. And it calls for a unique kind of strength that is not manifested in external conquests or visible achievements, but in an unbreakable inner stability, a profound solidity of being that enables us to withstand life's relentless onslaughts. When we consciously grant ourselves the permission to immerse ourselves in silence, When we humbly accept not having all the answers at our fingertips instantaneously, we open a sacred space within our very core. It is within this profound space that something entirely new and authentic begins to emerge from our depths, something that is not the product of hurried action or external imposition, but the ripe fruit of a natural process of internal gestation and maturation. Carnegie, with his penetrating understanding of the psyche, knew that the ego, that part of us which craves control, seeks constant admiration, and insists on always being right, tenaciously resists true transformation. The ego prefers shortcuts, quick fixes, and visible superficial victories, those that feed its insatiable need for external validation. However, the deepest and wisest core of our being, that divine spark residing at our essence, operates at a fundamentally different pace. It is in no hurry. It patiently invites us to look inward, to bravely confront our shadows, those aspects of ourselves that we deny or suppress, and to compassionately integrate all our forgotten or rejected parts, even those we deem imperfect. This process of integration, of bringing unconscious parts into conscious awareness to achieve greater wholeness, cannot occur under the oppressive weight of fear, shame, or desperation. It demands space, an environment of acceptance and, crucially, calm. When we cease forcing ourselves to change, when we stop the internal struggle against who we believe we should be, and instead begin to allow ourselves to simply be as we are, in this present moment, something profound and organic begins to reorganize within us. We stop battling our own nature and instead begin to collaborate with the limitless potential of who we can genuinely become. And this profound transition, undertaken with patience, depth, and genuine self-compassion, possesses the power not only to radically transform our life's trajectory, but also to profoundly shape the way we impact the world around us, generating a powerful ripple effect of positive change. This enduring transformation leads us to a type of success that cannot be measured solely by quantitative metrics, professional titles, or material possessions. It is measured rather by the profound serenity with which we inhabit our own lives, by the deep inner peace that we experience. As we become more internally whole, we begin to act with greater clarity of purpose, to make choices with a wisdom that transcends mere rationality, and to live with a lightness that once seemed utterly unattainable. External results, indeed, will manifest, but not as desperately pursued goals or as a frantic, anxious race to achieve something. They emerge instead as the natural and inevitable fruits of a being that blossoms at its own inherent pace, in its own perfect time. Success, therefore, ceases to be an exhausting uphill climb and transforms into a harmonious dance with time, with the soul, and with what truly matters in life. This is why calmness is not merely a means to arrive at a better future state. It is in itself irrefutable proof that we are already on the correct path, that we are deeply aligned with our truth. And in the profound silence that calmness graciously offers us, we hear, perhaps for the very first time with true clarity, the voice of that which we have always sought, our true essence, liberated from the tyranny of haste and fully present in its own simple, profound existence. In a world that relentlessly exalts speed, unbounded efficiency, and constant external validation, the conscious decision to embrace calmness might indeed appear to be an act of counterculture, a stance that directly opposes the dominant current. However, perhaps it is precisely this choice, seemingly simple yet profoundly revolutionary, that will enable us to reconnect with the most authentic and fundamental truth residing in the deepest core of our being. Dale Carnegie, through his immense body of work and his insightful theories, not only bequeathed us a complex conceptual framework, but also extended a powerful and transformative invitation, an invitation to radical authenticity, to a profound and attentive listening of our inner voice, and to the complete integration of all facets of our being, both conscious and unconscious. And it is crucial to grasp that none of this, neither authenticity nor deep listening nor integration, is genuinely possible without a deliberate pause. Calmness is not merely an absence of movement, as it is often mistakenly perceived. Rather, it is the inherent quality of the movement that originates from our internal core, from a place of deep equilibrium and profound wisdom. It is this intrinsic quality that empowers us to act with a clear and defined purpose, to create with a meaning that transcends the merely functional, and to live with a profound sense of fullness that enriches every single moment of our existence. This is by no means an abandonment of our most cherished dreams or a cowardly retreat in the face of life's challenges. It is, on the contrary, a profound redefinition of how we engage with time, with the pressures of achieving goals, and, most importantly, with ourselves. Haste undoubtedly can generate short-term results. It can help us quickly tick off items on a checklist. But it is calmness that generates meaning, that imbues those results and our actions with profound significance. And it is meaning, ultimately, that transforms mere ephemeral success into a deep and lasting fulfillment that genuinely nourishes the soul. There comes a point in life, for many, when a profound realization occurs. We recognize that we no longer wish to run aimlessly, chasing goals that perhaps are not even truly our own. What we genuinely yearn for is to walk, but to walk with our inherent truth, at our own authentic pace, with what genuinely makes us feel whole and at peace. And this conscious and fulfilling walk can only be sustained, nurtured, and deepened by the presence of calm. When we allow ourselves to take a deep breath and consciously slow our pace, a profound revelation washes over us. We understand that we are not behind, that we have not failed in the race of life. On the contrary, we realize that we are precisely where we need to be at this very moment on our unique path. The constant comparisons with others, which once tormented us, lose their gripping power. The external and internal demands dissolve, and that relentless, critical inner voice finally falls silent. Only we remain, whole, fully present in the here and now, and keenly attentive to the life that is unfolding around us. And it is in this state of presence and profound fullness that success ceases to be a distant promise in the future, and instead becomes an inevitable and organic consequence of who we already are, of our most authentic essence. Carnegie, with his illuminating vision, taught us that the process of individuation, that journey toward truly becoming who we are, is a return to our center, to our deepest, most intimate truth. And this homecoming to our own being is only possible when we possess the courage to stop running and at last begin to listen to the profound wisdom that resides within us. Now, I invite you to genuinely reflect on this. How many times has rushing pulled you away from your true self? How many decisions have you made on impulse, only to realize later that what you truly needed was a moment of profound calm? Have you ever dared to intentionally pause in the midst of chaos and simply listen to what is truly happening within you? What shifts both internally and externally when you do? Perhaps the answers you've been tirelessly searching for are not found in the next hurried step, but in the quality of presence you might have missed in the steps you've already taken. I am eager to hear your insights and experiences. Share in the comments below. When has embracing calmness made a significant difference in your life? Do you truly believe that intentionally slowing down can genuinely be the most effective key to moving forward with purpose and peace? Let's cultivate a space for thoughtful reflection, meaningful exchange, and deep listening together. Sometimes all it takes is someone asking what no one has stopped to truly consider.